Life, my friends, it's a test of your grit, your determination. When things get tough, and trust me, it will, you gotta remember one thing. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. You see, Rocky Balboa, he said that these words stuck with him because life ain't just about the victories, it's about the battles you fought to get there. It's about the failures, the echo of the doubters that didn't have the perseverance to keep chasing the dreams that they wanted. So they told you to stop chasing yours. But we're not gonna listen to the echoes of the doubters. We're gonna listen to our soul. We're gonna listen to the warrior that lives inside of us all, that tells us it's not about our circumstances, it's about our opportunities. And not just about those opportunities, it's about seizing those opportunities every chance you get. Because ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you that these opportunities are not gonna come back around. Do you have what it takes to make it through this journey? I'm telling you, young king, keep fighting, because your life depends on it. Today we're gonna reach for the dreams where they said we couldn't reach them. It's your job to rise like the phoenix and show the world what you have to offer. My dreams don't live down there. That's what my granddad used to tell me. When I used to walk in those projects, I'll look down and see throwing pipes. I'll see bullets. I'll see blood stains. But when I looked in the sky, I saw my dreams. I saw my opportunity. When I would go to school, they would tell me I was too dumb. They told me I'd be like my father, like my family, selling dope or going to the penitentiary. Never seeing what the real world would be. See, I was a kid that couldn't read till I was 16. But my dream was bigger than my reality. I'm telling you, young king, keep fighting, because your life depends on it. Just like when you get hit with that bullet, and your boys are telling you, don't stop breathing, don't stop fighting. You still got life to live. Because if you lay there in your pool of blood, you're going to die there. Young king, learn how to fight for your purpose and not the money. Learn how to rise to the occasion for your life. Learn how to save your family without destroying your life. Because growing up in the trenches, sometimes we only got the choice to sell dope. We only got the choice to rob and steal. But I need you to know, young king, that you have the capability to change your life if you change your mindset. If you transform your nightmares into heaven. You see, young king, as you set in those projects, nobody's gonna come knock on your door and tell you to come with me. It's your job to rise like the phoenix and show the world what you have to offer. You see, the best gifts, they come from the bottom. Just like when you used to open that cereal box as a kid, that gift was at the bottom. Your dream was at the bottom. The moment that your life will change is when you embrace the bottom. And understand that it's gonna take every inch of blood and strength to get you to that next level. To move you from that Volvo to a Ferrari. To turn that project building into a mansion. Young King, go get it. You can make it. You can make it. You see, the reason I know you can make it is because I made it. From burying my mother to a heroin overdose, to my father being murdered on Christmas morning, I didn't think I could make it. But what I realized is when these individuals leave us sometimes, they never died, they rested in us. They give us the opportunity to live the rest of their life and ours for them. You see, one thing I can tell you about pain, ladies and gentlemen, that it will make you believe that you are less than what God created you to be. But what if I told you these are nothing more than emotions? Emotions from your past trauma. Emotions from your past pain. Emotions from that scarred child. And as we go through life, we start to transform into a human being that's not really us. It's the human being that was hurt. It was the human being that grew up in chaos in his or her home. It's the little girl that was molested, taken advantage of, and nobody ever told her that she was beautiful. Nobody ever told her that it wasn't her fault. And I wish I was there to tell my mother, that beautiful queen that was molested, so she used drugs to cover the pain. But what made her so amazing is her ability to get up and be a mother every day. Was her ability to tell me, Will, you're not dumb. The Most High just gave you a gift that you ain't gonna never understand. I'm telling you, young king, you need to keep fighting because your life depends on it. It's your job to rise like the phoenix. I'm here to stay. I'm here to fight. I'm here to win. Others may quit, but not me. Not today. Not tomorrow. I'm going to be king one day. You can make it because I did. You see, every morning I wake up and I think about my mother. I think about her touch. I think about her words of affirmation, the first motivational speaker I've ever met. And I think about a young woman that was molested by her father and never got help. So she used heroin to cover the pain. And eventually she died of that.
At some point in life, you will lose your balance and fall for the first time. Get back up and try again.
At some point in life, you will fall for the second time. Get back up and try again.
At some point in life, you will fall for the third time, fall for the fourth time. Get back up and try again.
Falling one time is not a failure. It's the start of your journey. The pain of failing is temporary. It will not last. No matter how many times you get knocked down, You get up again. Get knocked down for the 5th time. Get back up and try again. There are no quick fixes in life. Anything of real worth will take struggle and perseverance.
Success is a journey. What is most important, that one simply does their absolute best and remains persistent.
We learn little from victory, much more from defeat. Stay focused. Even if you fall 1,000 times, you just keep getting up and trying again and again and again. Your start does not determine how you're going to finish. Every day is a new opportunity to reach that goal, to reach that dream.
Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of yourself and love what you are aiming to achieve.
The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. That little extra day. I fall down 6 times, I get up and try again. I fall down 7 times, I get up and try again. We all start standing on our own 2 feet, standing for what we believe in, standing for what is right, standing for our loved ones, and standing for those who can't stand themselves, even if it means standing alone. Keep your head up and keep your feet on the ground, because your life is dependent on it. And whatever you want to accomplish, you must empty your heart and your soul into it. You must believe when others say you cannot. You must go when your heart is telling you to stop. You must rise and become legendary. You just keep getting up and trying again and again and again. Fall down 7. Stand up 8. Let's rise, because we all have a choice. We have a choice to live, or we have a choice to live but walk around as zombies. You see, dreams, they come with nightmares. They come with unforeseen things that we cannot stop or control. The only thing us human beings can control is how we react to every trial and tribulation that comes in our life. We were born to be legendary. We were born to be great. We were born to stand on mountains with giants and show the world our gifts. But some of us, we fall asleep and we stay asleep. We forget why we started this. We forget to ride for our people. I remember days when I couldn't see my children. I remember days when I couldn't feed my children. But I knew this dream was the only way that I'll ever reconnect with them. This dream was the only way I can truly make it. And when I made it, I realized, what do you do when you climb to the top of the mountain and there's nobody else around? The human soul yearns for something bigger. And what I realized is, you gotta find a bigger mountain. You gotta find a bigger mountain to climb. Because life without the climb is worthless. Life without living in the truth and your realness is useless. Not being who you were born to be is useless. But we gotta remember why we started. Remember why we grind. Remember why we go to work every single day. We can't stop now. When I got that phone call on Christmas Day, 11 days before my son was born, that my father has been murdered and left for dead, I was lost. Every piece of motivation I have given to the world feels like it was for nothing. I buried my mother and now my father is murdered, but life asked me a question. He asked me, how will you respond? And I replied, I'm gonna give life everything I got. Because I realized life is only for a moment. And God told me that you're just getting started. You have everything inside of you to become the greatest version that you want to be. You see, this thing we call our dream is one of the hardest things to obtain because we're chasing it every single day, even waking up knowing that some days we might not even be paid for it. But the question is, what are you gonna do when it's game time? Yeah, life done knocked you down. Life done beat you up, but what are you gonna do when it's time to get back up? You see, in boxing, ladies and gentlemen, they'll count to 10. They give you 10 seconds to raise up on your feet and show that you still got what it takes to continue to fight. And that's just like a dream. Most successful people, it took 10 years to get to where they wanted to go. This life will eat you up if you don't continue to fight for what you believe in. This life is the only one that we have. So what are we gonna do to make it our best? What are we gonna do to show the world that greatness can come from anywhere? We just gotta cultivate it. We gotta nourish it. We gotta be proud of where we come from. So when we make it, we can come back and help the people at the bottom. But what I didn't know in the journey is, the higher you go, the bigger the giants become. You see, once you become a giant, the only thing that person sees is a giant. And when that giant is looking in the mirror, he has a choice to look down, or he has a choice to be selfish and keep that gigantic gift to themselves. But the great ones, they make it their duty to get up and fight and teach other individuals the power of life, the power of truth, the power of becoming legendary. We, as human beings, have this unique power in all of us. But some of us just die, and the only thing remembers is the dirt that covers us. What is it to decay while you're still living? What is it to be put in a box and buried while you're still living? Stand up and go get what belongs to you, which is your life, which is your legacy, which is the name that people will remember forever if you just sign that $1 million check. Every single human being on this earth is a walking $1 million check. But you haven't signed your signature. You must burn the ships of the past. We burn the ships of the past to focus on the things that we were born to do. Because pain will keep us in a paralyzed state until we say no more. Today I'm talking about a choice. A choice to love better, be a better father, be a better mother, be a better grandfather, grandmother, be better. It's a choice that we all get to have every single day we wake up out the bed. I don't know about you, but I know until the day that I die, it's the day that they put my body in the dirt and God calls me home. I'm going to focus on the people. I'm going to focus on the people who's setting up in those villages with no mother, no father, those kids with no food, no clothes. I'm going to do it for you because I was a child that woke up early on summer days and walked through those projects, looking to the sky to see a piece of something that I can believe in. Because I have to tell you, you are royalty, kings and queens. You are legends. And what I tell you today is, we were born to be great. If you're a freshman and you know a senior in this room, you give him everything in your body today. You break your neck to break their neck. That's how you win big games. You hit them in the mouth. You hit them in the mouth, kings. Every single one of y'all in here are kings. You kings. So when you step on that field again, you don't say, let's go, my nigga. You say, let's go, king. This is our house. I was born a king. I was born to be a winner. I was born to be a champion. The difference between a champion and a loser is a mindset. Once you put your mindset where a killer mindset is, ain't nobody gonna stop you. Because I'm gonna tell you now, this game is not for nice people. And y'all know that this game is not for nice people. This game is for young men running around neighborhoods, knowing if they don't make a play, if they don't get a scholarship, they gonna die in that neighborhood. They gonna end up another statistic. See, some people play the game for the Gatorade and the cheerleaders. And some people play the game because they know they gotta save their family life. They gotta make a way. Their family tree is rotten, so they gotta replant one. And what football gives you the ability to do, it gives you the ability to leave the slum, go to one of the nicest colleges in the world, build your own name, build your own legacy, get drafted, and tell your mama and your daddy and your sister, we leaving the hood today. And you know why we leaving? Because I was unselfish. Because I left everything on the field. I want you guys to believe, don't just listen to me. Feel me in your soul. Believe you can win. Believe you can win. Because we only get one shot at this, king. We didn't come this far to come this far. Let me repeat that. We didn't come this far to come this far. We came here to be champions. We came here to be one of the #1 schools in the country. We came here to show even people in our own city that's doubting us that you will be my fan. You will follow me and you will bite your words. Because that head coach, you got all these coaches, all these men around you. That's the blessing. That's who you play for. Because at the end of the day, you guys are going, I'm telling you, it's going to go fast. It's going to go fast. One day you're going to be riding down the street, you're going to see your coach, you're going to say, Coach, all the lessons you gave me, I should have listened. It's going to be somebody that say that. I should have listened. But tonight, if you listen to every single word them coaches say, if you be unselfish, if you don't think about yourself, if you don't think about that, all them thousands of fans standing on the outside, put your mind frame on the field. Keep your mind frame on the field. And when you step off that bus, you tighten up your tie and you say, this is my business trip. Are you going to close the deal or are you going to fold? When I stepped on the field, I had a mind frame. My mother was a heroin addict. So when I stepped on the field, I thought about, I want to save my mama's life. This man in front of me is going to stop me from saving my mom. It's going to stop me from saving my brothers and my sisters. It's going to stop me from taking my brothers and sisters away from crackheads and drug addicts every day. And when I looked at my opponent across from me, I told him, you not hungry enough. You don't want this enough. My life on the line. You hear me? Get your life on the line today. Everything on the line. If you go out there and you let them hit you in your mouth and beat you, you quit. Them teenage boys just like you teenage boys. They breathe just like you. They go to class just like you. So you gonna let a man stand in front of you and say, I'm more man than you? Or you gonna hit him in the mouth and say, hey boys, we came to fight. I ain't gotta talk to you. I ain't gotta bicker to you. I'm gonna hit you in your mouth for 60 minutes. Kings, whatever you do today, you leave every drop of your blood on that field today. And I'm proud of you. Win, loss, or draw. But I want y'all to remember one thing, King. Remember one thing. The best gifts come from the bottom. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when you open up that cereal box as a kid, that gift was at the bottom. You had to eat through all that to get that gift at the bottom. And that's your season. That's your season. You had to eat through all that. Coaches cussing you out, trying to get your grades together, arguing in study hall, arguing with teammates, fighting with teammates. Now, today is the day that you put all that in the package. You put all that in the grenade and you blow Hoover Stadium up tonight. And you let them know that Sparkman football is here for years to come. But the legacy, it starts today. Wide receivers, run every route like your life depends on it. Linebackers, break your neck to break their neck. I don't care about injuries. Offensive line, get nasty. Get nasty. If you hit him in the first play of the game, hit him in his mouth. I don't care if it's a draw play. You block him till the whistle is over with. Make him say this dude is extra. Make him say this dude is crazy. If you believe, King, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I'm King Hollis, man. I love y'all. Go out there and become champion. Y'all be blessed. You know, the chase is hard, but it's worth it. I want to talk to an individual out there, a king, a queen, a mother, a father, a grandfather. And I want to tell you that where you are right now is not your forever. You see, life is hard, and the chase, it'll almost drive a man insane. But with the belief in God, an ordinary man can rise to an occasion and get a world something they never seen before. You see, I was a project kid from Pontiac, Michigan. Mother a heroin addict, father in the streets. Only thing I seen was people selling crack cocaine, selling heroin, selling pounds of marijuana. As a kid, they thought that that's what I would grow into, that's what I would form into, but God had other plans. I say this to tell you that no matter what you placed in front of, that is not your forever. That is only a barrier. That God has already given you the strength to remove. You see, I was this young kid that woke up every single day and all he wanted to do is save his mama. I would watch my mama watch beautiful shows on the television. She would look at those dresses, she would look at those cars, she would look at those homes, and I could see the pain in her eyes. I could tell that she wanted to give us this. But all the pain she felt, the funny thing is I felt. And that was the fuel to push me to the next level of my life. That was the fuel. So when I stepped in front of another opponent on that football field, I told him my life on the line and I can't lose. But we got two choices, baby. Are you gonna fly or you gonna die? It don't matter if you're born in the belly of the projects. You have something special. You have this special gift to give to the world, and the only way you're gonna bring it to life is if you believe it here and speak it here. See, motivation is only a reminder of the greatness that already lies inside of you. They try to make it this huge thing, but the truth is, greatness lies in every single one of us. You can't listen to the echoes of other people when you're talking about your dream. So if you go into the darkness alone, you're gonna go to the light alone. And you can't be afraid to walk alone. Embrace being the underdog. Embrace being the individual that they say cannot do it.
The underdog is a person that comes out on the playing field and says, okay, I've been in this place of pain my whole life. I've gone without for so long. This is the day you make up in your mind where I will take the throne.
If you are an underdog, you gotta believe against all odds. If you are an underdog, you gotta learn to close your ears to everybody. You gotta learn to close your ears to everything. You gotta learn to block out the distractions, and you gotta learn to get focused, all right?
The champion is the one that never lets the sun catch them sleeping.
This is what life is all about. Everyone on Super Bowl Sunday, they root for the underdog. Because it's something about watching the little man, the small people, the people that they say are not that talented. Watching them succeed.
You must wake up every morning and pull and dig every day for that one day to show up. And don't you stop pulling. Don't you stop digging until it shows up.
Because they said you can't do it. They said you don't have what it takes to make the investments. They said you don't have what it takes to lose the weight. They say you don't have what it takes to hang on to your marriage. Everybody has been counted out. Everybody has been doubted.
Now watch the next time you say, forget the underdog. Because that dog has more bite than that pit bull. Keep fighting. The underdog is truly the greatest.
The underdog is not a person who doesn't feel pain, doubt, and fear. The underdog is a person that turns that pain, that doubt, that fear into their fuel.
It ain't no shame in thinking about quitting. It ain't no shame. It ain't no shame in getting tired. It's no shame in feeling burnt out. It's no shame. But the trick is, don't just think about it. Say to yourself, I gotta rethink it and get this thought out of my mind. Why? Because the shame is in quitting. So if you thought about it, there ain't nothing wrong with that, boo. But whatever you do, don't let that thought become a reality, all right?
Everyone has been an underdog. Streams all the way back to Little League. When you were a toddler, people will look past you and believe that you didn't have what it takes. What do you want to do to prove them wrong? How are you going to go about that? See, it's beauty in the underdog. Because nobody sees you coming.
You see, there's a difference between a dreamer and a chaser. Dreamers keep dreaming. Chasers get to work becoming. So are you a dreamer or a chaser?
Be ready to fight. Be ready to fight for your life. Be ready to give it everything you got. Make sure what you are up against understands that you are there to do business. You are there to work hard. You are there to outwork what's against you.
9 times out of 10, the underdog always comes out with the win because the underdog was more hungry. The wolf that is on the hill is never as hungry as the wolf that is climbing the hill. The underdog is still trying to prove himself. The underdog is still trying to tell the world, I can do this. Whatever that dream is, whatever you have, that goal, that improbable feat, once you get it set, once you smell that, once you get a feel for a taste of it,
And the underdog is an individual who refuses to live in the dark.
I know what it's like to be an underdog. I know what it's like to be laughed at. I know what it's like to have a dream and have no one believe in you. I know what it's like to be dumped, to be written off, and to be slept on. It sucks. It hurts. It's depressing. I'm here to tell you that you need to get over it. It means nothing. It's all in your head. The 10 words that will ruin your life are what will other people think and what will other people say.
Because many of us do not admit it. But when we see the underdog win, it puts belief in us. The struggle of getting people to believe that if they put you in, you won't let them down. The struggle of making people believe that you have what it takes to get the job done. But remember, they will not see you coming as you rise, as you work every single day, tirelessly, for what you dream of. It doesn't matter who says you're not good enough. It doesn't matter if they say you're not qualified enough. The only thing that matters is that you're willing to work your behind off to change their mind frame.
Underdog is just a man or a woman who has made up their mind. They are no longer going to live in their setbacks. They are no longer going to live in your reality. Your reality of me says I'm not enough. Your reality of me says I can't do this. Your reality of me says you won't finish today. My reality says all I have is all I need. I'm not living in my setback any longer. I'm moving forward. I'm coming after everything you said I couldn't have.
My father was an All-American defensive end, man. Magic Johnson took him on his recruiting trip. He was 6'4", ran a 4.44 in a 40, 4.445, 298 pounds, University of Indiana. And one day he was coming back home to visit the family for summer break. And this is when life changed. My Uncle Oliver was murdered. He was shot over 67 times, his little brother. He spent the rest of his life trying to bring vengeance for that death. You see, on Christmas Day, I got a phone call that your father was left murdered in a car downtown Detroit. And the only thing I can think about is the man that I thought was invincible. I thought the man was untouchable. But life has a funny way of showing you that you're not in control.
What would you do if you knew that today was your last day on this earth? How would you spend it? Because you're not promised tomorrow.
You see, you never know what's gonna hit you in life. Some of us just die, and the only thing remembers is the dirt that covers us. Christmas Day, my father was murdered. I buried my mother and now my father is murdered, but life asked me a question. He asked me, how will you respond? And I replied, I'm gonna give life everything I got. Because I realized life is only for a moment. It's only for a season.
We really don't know how much time we have, but we must cherish every moment that is given to us. The last breath that you take can be right now. We have to get back to the reality and knowing that tomorrow is not promised.
We can't stop now, because our dream is the only thing that we have. This life is the only one that we have. So what are we gonna do to make it our best? Yeah, life done knocked you down. Life done beat you up, but what are you gonna do when it's game time?
This life that you have is only temporary. It will not last forever. But while you have life in your body at this moment, and that you are above ground and not under it, there is still a little bit more work to be done.
You see, I realize that this life will eat you up if you don't continue to fight for what you believe in. But the great ones, they make it their duty to get up and fight and teach other individuals the power of life, the power of truth, the power of becoming legendary.
Leave a legacy. Don't put yourself in a position where you leave in this world and you left nothing behind.
We were born to be legendary. We were born to be great. I'm gonna give life everything I got.
We're talking about your last day. And if this is your last day, you better make it a great day.
When I got that phone call on Christmas Day, 11 days before my son was born, that my father has been murdered and left for dead, I was lost. And that's when I truly learned that we don't have forever. You see, I once cried every single night from losing all the people that I loved. It's been days that I wanted to take my life, days that I didn't want to be here. So many individuals, they quit on their dreams. They put it in a box and they buried it away. They let it all go just because of one obstacle, one pain threshold, and you couldn't keep on. But we got to remember why we started. Remember why we grind. Remember why we go to work every single day. We were born to stand on mountains with giants and show the world our gifts when it's time to get back up.
See, the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, there are many people that are afraid of dying. But if you learn to live the best life that you can, then there will be no fear of leaving this world. But you must accept the fact that we all have to take that journey. And you are not immortal. But if you knew today was your last day, how would you accept it? Could you accept it? Or will you be afraid?
But what if I told you that the biggest mistake that you have made is giving up on yourself? Today I'm talking about a choice. A choice to love better, be a better father, be a better mother, be a better grandfather, grandmother, be better. It's a choice that we all get to have every single day we wake up out the bed. Let's rise, because we all have a choice. We have a choice to live, or we have a choice to walk around as zombies. And it's a decision that you have to make.
The last day of your life can be right now. How much effort will you put forth to put your arms around someone just to say that you love them? How much effort will you put forth to apologize to someone that you may have hurt years ago? We have a reason that we are alive today. Not too many people get a second chance or a third chance. Not too many people get to live long lives. I'm speaking life to you right now, people. Life is short. Will you waste time worrying about the things that you have no control over? Or will you focus on the time that you do have left? When you leave here the right way. Because when that time comes, know in your heart that you did your very best. Know in your heart that you lived the best life that you knew how. Tomorrow doesn't owe you anything. Tomorrow doesn't owe me anything. But today, right now, is all we have. Let's live our lives. Let's keep looking up. Let's keep being productive. And know, if today is your last day, live it, breathe it, and from the bottom of my heart, conduct your business.
You see, it comes a time in every individual's life when they have to change their mindset. They got to change their work ethic. And what I want to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, today is the topic of the 4 a.m. mentality. You see, when I was in a shelter, homeless, I realized the only way that I can make it in this life is if I get up and work while they play. Grind while they complain. And then I heard a whisper. It was a whisper for some of the greatest voices I've ever heard.
So it started off 4 o'clock in the morning. I work out twice before everyone wakes up.
And sometimes a fella's will is stronger than the man who's actually better physically, and the determination weakens the other man just to see him so determined.
When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game.
What you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go.
You see, life's a journey. And sometimes we gotta get up before the sun to make it happen. I ain't no fancy speaker or nothing, but I've been around the block and I've learned a thing or two about making a commitment to myself. You ever heard that quote, the early bird catches the worm? Yeah, it might sound cliche, but there's truth in these words. It's about getting ahead of the game, being one step ahead of your own doubts and fears. Yeah, you see, I grew up in these streets. I didn't have much of anything, but I learned that to make a change in life, you gotta start with you. You gotta start today. Start getting up at 4 a.m. and prove them haters wrong. It's quiet. The world hasn't woken up yet, and that's your time. Ain't no distractions, no noise, just you and your thoughts. It's the perfect time to set goals, make plans, and remind yourself of what you're fighting for. You see, the only thing standing between you and your goal is the story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. Think about that. Sometimes we're in our own way. Sometimes we allow our enemies to stop us from going after everything we want in this life. We let our childhood traumas take us away from who we truly supposed to be. But not today. Today we're gonna wake up while they sleep. Today we're gonna reach for the dreams where they said we couldn't reach them. Today we're gonna climb a bigger mountain. And we're gonna do it on time. 4 a.m. in the morning, baby. That's when the sharks hit the ocean. That's when the wolves climb the mountain. That's when greatness screams to the world. Give me more. Give me more opposition. Give me more pain. Because that's the stuff that turns us into champions. You see, when Michael Jordan used to step out on that court, he never thought about how long the game would last. He only thought about if he'll win. But he was up grinding early in the morning before the competition ended the gym. And that's what it's gonna take for you to develop this 4 a.m. mentality. For you to turn yourself into a giant. And you'll know when you're a giant. Because when a giant stands, all he can see is more giants. Develop it. Take it in. Make it a part of your DNA. 4 a.m. mentality.
Many people ask, why do you rise? And I tell them, this is why I rise. I rise for those that paved the way before me and gave me belief in the power. If you see me as a giant, it is only because I am standing on their shoulders. I rise because it is my will, my passion, my burning desire, and I cannot stand still. I rise because I know that I have a legacy to fulfill. I rise because this is my journey, not just a destination. I rise because I am the creation. I rise because every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year that goes by brings me closer to fulfilling my ultimate obligation. I rise because I lead an army of kings and queens. And this is the dawning of a new day. I rise because we are many like grains of sand. I rise before I lead. But first, I must pave the way. I rise because if anyone can do it, I know I can. I rise because people like Martin, Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, their life for the struggle. I rise because people like Rosie, Oprah, Harriet, and Coretta stood tall in the face of adversity. I rise because I have a dream. I rise because I will see that dream fulfilled by any means necessary. I rise because I know that none but ourselves can free our minds. from mental slavery. This is why I rise. Why do you rise? How bad do you really want it? Yeah, you talk about it all the time, but how bad do you really want it? You see, I'm chasing this game, this motivation. The pain that I've seen my whole life, I understand now. I understand that they don't want to see us make it. They don't want to see us stand on the stage with the big dogs and take a little of that money off their table. You see, now they call the millennials disrespectful, but that's not true. We cried out and we cried out for help, but you never came. We cried out and we cried out, but you never wiped the tears off our eyes. We wanted to be just like you, but we grew up and we realized that our idols was just that. They're not teachers. They're not the water that spreads on the flowers and help us grow. They're bloodsuckers. They watch us and they look at us like we're dumb, young, and we'll never be anything. But I'm here to tell you that changes. That changes. And that idol become rivals. I bled for this. Buried my mother for this. Put my heart and soul into this. I know the feeling. No, this not that fake lion, tigers, and bears motivation. This that growing up in the slums, watching your mom nod on the couch as you go to school. We want more. We want more out of this life. And if you're not willing to give that to us, we're gonna take it. Because a man is not a man by his age. A man is a man by his experiences. What he goes through. What he fights through. That's what makes a warrior. That's what makes the greatest of all time. I won't end my life in a bottomless pit. I'm gonna rise and I'm gonna show the world that greatness is obtained by the man that never stopped pushing. Never stop chasing. Yeah, they tell us to have patience, but what's patience when your stomach is growling? What's patience when the bills is due? What's patience when the family that looks up to you and believes in you starts to doubt you? You see, this is a new motivation. This is real motivation. I do this for those kids that bury their mothers before they become a man or woman. I do this for that child that was taken from his household and put in a foster system. And that's where he had to learn how to be a man. You see, this life is not daisies and roses. This life is hard. But if it wasn't hard, why do we exist? What challenges will we have? You know, some individuals like it easy. They like it put on a pedestal for them. But some of us gotta grind. We gotta dig. We gotta make it happen for ourselves. You see, no, we never did it for the money. We did it to stop the blood. We did it to stop the pain. We did it to turn the showers into sunshine. We won't stop until our family no longer struggles. We won't stop until we're number one. So when you ask the world, who is William Hollis? They're gonna tell you. He represents the blood that was spilt in those project buildings. He represents those kids that buried their mother too soon. He represents the underdog. The ones that was ignored, but was so gifted that they kicked the door down.
You know, life has a funny way of throwing us curveballs. Just when you think you can't go any further, it shows you that you got more left in the tank. My story? Well, let me tell you. It's a journey through the streets of life. But I didn't come this far to come this far. Those words, they're more than just a saying to me. They're a way of life. You see, life taught me a thing or two. It taught me that when you feel like you've hit rock bottom, when you think you have nothing left, that's when you got to dig a little deeper. There were times when I had nothing but the clothes on my back and an empty stomach, but I never gave up. I looked at the struggle in the eyes and said, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. This one is for anyone trying to get in shape, anyone trying to lose weight, anyone trying to get off the streets. I'm proud of you. In advance, I'm proud of you. Keep killing it. People don't believe the greatness that's in them. People like to stay in the stands, but I tell you, get out the stands and get in the game. Keep showing up when nobody is watching. Keep grinding when no one is believing in you. Don't you let those diabetes kill you. Don't you let that high blood pressure kill you. Don't you let that unhealthy lifestyle in your life before it becomes what it is meant to be. You see, fitness, ladies and gentlemen, it's attached to your heart. It's attached to your mind. Because deep down in every human being, they want to see the greatest version of themselves. But most people quit. Most people stop believing in that individual that has the greatest version of you inside of him. We got to keep fighting. We got to make a decision to eat better, to live better, to love better. We got to make a decision when we want to sit down and watch those soap operas, to make another decision, to go work on your cardio. You see, to become the greatest version of yourself is going to take the best version you ever seen. To become the best version of yourself, you're gonna have to push your body past the pain and realize that the pain is turning us into a legend. It's turning us into a warrior. It's turning us to somebody that told themselves that we didn't come this far to only come this far. Get up and fight. Get up and bleed for the version that you want to become. Because we only get one shot at this, kings and queens. Just one. So
and make sure they remember you forever. Make sure when you look in the mirror, you can see the person that you love and not the person you hate. Greatness starts with a lot of small steps that turns into gigantic steps. You got this. You got this. You got this. All those young kings locked and incarcerated, you're there for one reason. Because you couldn't control your emotions. You know, a great man once said that a man that cannot control his emotions is not yet a man. Yes, it's a tough pill to swallow, but you're not a man yet. Because a man takes responsibility for his life. He takes responsibility for his actions and he makes a strategic effort to change. And that's what I want you young kings to do today. I want you to know that just because that family tree was rotten doesn't mean that it have to be your garden forever. What if I told you you can fly away, travel the world, and plant that family tree on beautiful soil? You see, many times men get incarcerated and locked up behind bars, but those men never learn. They never change their mindset. They never let go of the pain of burying their father. They never let go of the pain of burying their mother. They hold on to it. And at that very moment, in that man or woman's life, their growth stops. Because the pain becomes like a tsunami that drowns you, that makes you believe that you're less than, that makes you believe that you're worthless. But I want you to know, young king and queen, sitting behind those bars, sitting in that juvenile detention center, I need you to understand this one thing, that life is not over until you say it's over. The fight for your dream is not over until you quit. So today I want you to rise. I want you to run. I want you to chase. I want you to believe. In that rose that grew through the concrete. You are phenomenal.
Today we gotta ghost everyone. Anyone that ever doubted us, anyone that ever lied to us and told us that they believe in our vision, we gotta reset.
We live in a culture of busyness, distraction, and noise. And sometimes the only way something's going to change is if we disappear.
We gotta focus on the reason why we started everything. Why we woke up early in the morning to grind. Why we cried those tears. When we wanted the world to say yes, but everyone continued to say no. You see, you gotta forget about the doubters.
Can you unplug from people's ideas, from people's agendas, from people's viewpoints and perspective of you and life? Can you unplug?
Forget about the doubters that told you that you didn't have what it takes to be the greatest, you gotta reset.
What if you could just shut out every distraction? What if you could just shut out the world for just a season and focus on you? You have to disappear and put the work in and come back and shock everybody that doubted you.
You gotta understand the power of being alone. Let's go back into the darkness where all the greatness was created, where all the motivation was created. Let's get back to the beginning. Because only then will you hear the thoughts of the greats.
We celebrate athletes and we celebrate critical thinkers and innovators and actors, and we praise them and claim them our heroes, and we follow them by the millions. We love what they do in public, but you don't know the story behind the glory. You don't know the blood, the sweat. You didn't see the tears that they cried, the prayers that they prayed, the countless weeks where they went without sleep to get where they are. I'm just wondering if there's anybody here that is willing to go through the process in the dark room that prepares us and equips us for the stages of destiny.
Rise, let's ghost everyone. You gotta get back to that child that wanted to dream, that wanted to chase everything the world told him that he couldn't have. Yes, we gotta reset. We're surrounded by the noise. We're surrounded by the social media, the Instagram, all of these things that give us no fulfillment. And the reason why you feel this way is because you've been surrounded by negativity. You've been surrounded by individuals that call themselves your friend. But in all reality, they're just another energy drainer. They're just another person that wants to tell you that you cannot accomplish your dreams because they failed at every obstacle they ever tried to defeat. Let's go back into that hole. Let's go back into the darkness.
Some of the most monumental and transformational portraits and pictures that we've ever seen were developed in the dark room. I'm talking to that athlete. I'm talking to that administrator. I'm talking to that nurse, that doctor. I'm talking to that student. I'm talking to that communicator. I'm talking to that pioneer, that inventor. I'm talking to that entrepreneur. I'm talking to that preacher. I'm talking to that person who refuses to stay where they are. I'm talking to that person that doesn't have a problem laying in obscurity because you know that when you come out of the dark room, all eyes on you.
Rise from that ghost state, a new man and a new woman on its journey to greatness.
Why are you here? What is your destiny?
I got a question. What will you do when no one is watching? What will you do when no one is listening? That's the only time that we'll be able to bring something to this world that it never seen before.
One of the greatest challenges with disappearing is understanding the revelation of building in the dark. The secret of change is to focus all of our energy not on fighting the old, but building the new, and specifically behind closed doors when nobody's looking, when no one is there to affirm you, when nobody's there to validate you, when nobody is there to agree with you, you build in the dark and you announce it when it's finished.
Let me tell you,
You're gonna fight until you can't fight no more. And when you can't fight anymore, you're gonna lay down and bleed a while. And then you're gonna get up and fight some more.
Sometimes you have to fall back into the dark room and focus on you. There are too many people in your life who have left you. There are too many people in your life who have counted you out. There are too many people in your life who have whispered in your ear and said, you'll be worse off without them. Prove them wrong. There are people in your life that claim to be your friends. And honestly, they are just standing there waiting to see you fail.
Yeah, you have those friends that come out to support you and tell you how great you are. But when they're driving off, leaving from the event, they're saying to themselves, I can do that better than him. Or I can do that better than her.
Disappear and do the work that is required. Sometimes you gotta take a break from just about everything, disappear, come back, and shock the world.
You've been surrounded by individuals that call themselves your friend. They're just another person that wants to tell you that you cannot accomplish your dreams.
Are you worth my time? If you're not, it's time to unplug. Time to unplug. Time to unplug.
This is the process when you have to reset and when you have to ghost everyone.
Get back up. So from this day forward, 365 days together. No, we can't do it alone, but together we can. Together we can motivate this country. We can motivate this world. Let's love our brothers and sisters. Let's feed the poor. Let's show the world what a true king and queen is. Together we will rise, together we will fight. And if God says, together we will fall. Let's be phenomenal today, kings and queens. This was only the beginning. Because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. Mistakes turn us all into winners. Mistakes turn us all into perfections. There's gonna be days when it seems like it will never happen. The dream will never manifest. The money will never come. The cars will never come. But you gotta fight for something more than material. You gotta fight for the baby that lays in your soul, that burns your chest. Because if you don't feel this fire, then it's not a dream. Get back up. Can you hear me? I said get back up. Because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. See, many of us believe that we don't have what it takes. You have multi-million-dollar potential inside of you, and you don't need $1 to obtain it. It's all inside of you. I heard a story one day about Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali was
was this amazing boxer. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Ali is. You're supposed to know. He's one of the greatest. He is the greatest of all time. One of my favorite athletes. He had a fight in Johannesburg, Africa with George Foreman. It went 8 rounds. And for the first round, George Foreman beat him up pretty bad. He hit him with body blows. He was literally lifting Muhammad Ali off the ground with these blows. But as the fight went on, the crowd started to count Muhammad Ali out. They started to believe that it wasn't possible for him to stay this champion. But Muhammad Ali had other plans. He had other intentions. Around the 8th round, when Muhammad Ali thought he was weak and he was getting ready to fall and he was tired, a champion came out. A true champion came out. And he told himself, I'm not going to lose this belt. I worked too hard to lose this belt. And I want you guys to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I worked too hard to lose this battle of life. I came too far to quit now.
We all had those situations where we had to get back up. We had to dig down deep and find that warrior that lives inside of us all. And we had to use that warrior to get back up. Can you hear me? I said get back up.
And all you people that have been disconnected from life, and you don't know where you're going anymore, you're lost. You can't see the other side. Go back to the child that you used to be. Remember the greatness that you had inside of you. And we're going to pick that crown off the ground and we're going to put it back on your head today. It's time for us to start living our dreams and chasing them with relentless effort. It's time for us to start being phenomenal. It's time for us to bring unity back into this earth. We're going to do this together. We're going to change the world. Not just spark it, we're going to change the world. And we're going to rise together. We're chasing greatness. We're throwing average in the garbage can, and we're awakening the greatness that lies inside of us. Because as I say all the time, we are all a walking $1 million check. But it's up to you to sign the check if you want to cash it. We will fight, we will claw together. And we all have special pieces that if we bring together, we can never be stopped. We're going to speak for the underdogs. We're going to speak for the people who have no voice. It's time to rise. It's time to live. It's time to get what we deserve.
If you don't get up when the count is at 9, you don't want it enough.
It's time to stop listening to the outdated version and living in the now version. Your story is your story. Your journey is your journey, and it's always going to be different. Go to where there's no path and leave a trail. Let's be phenomenal. One is okay, but a nation is unstoppable. Keep being inspirational. Keep being beautiful. Keep being driven. And keep fighting for your dreams.
Don't tell me you want it. Show me you want it. Are you willing to put in that time? Are you willing to study film? Are you willing to run those sprints all the way through, not halfway? You see, the game of football was created in the realm of gladiators. It was an arena of barbaric people chanting for the warrior who kills the most. You see, football comes from the same bloodline of gladiators. And when you step into that arena, oh, it takes a special man to step into that arena. Because when you step into that arena, you don't know if you're gonna walk out. You don't know if you will live after these 60 minutes. But that's what makes you special. That's what separates you from the normal, from the mediocre. Young king, you gotta display something that you already know you have in you. And that's the will to win. That's the will to be unselfish. Because football takes a certain mentality to play it. There's no better feeling in the world than smelling those hot dogs and hearing that band on Friday night. There's no feeling better in the world than walking out on Saturday with all your friends and family watching. See, what you do all off season is what your season will be. And once you understand that, King, this game is not for nice people. Some play the game to just see the crowd, and others play it to make their bloodline proud. To take mama out the projects and put sister in college. To dress their mother up and give her the world. To one day stand outside of a beautiful home and say, this belongs to you, mama. I ran those sprints, I ran those hills, I broke my arm for you, mama. I kept running when I was bleeding for you, mama. See, mama, this game, yes, it's dangerous, but it teaches us how to be a man. It teaches us responsibility. It teaches us to go to class, because without it, we can't do what we love. And that's play the game of football. Believe that you have enough. Take all that pain that you felt your entire life. And right now I'm talking to one of you seniors. Before you step on that field, take yourself back to that dark place. That place where you had no hope. And I want you to remember how far you came. And when you step on that field, Saturday or Friday night, you look your teammates in the eyes and you tell them,
We didn't come this far to only come this far. Royalty.
You're always going to have somebody that does not agree with you, that's watching you, that's hoping that you crash and burn. There's no need to say anything about them. Just do what you've been called to do. Stick to the plan. Pray for them and keep it moving.
Don't pray for me. You pray for my enemies, because they're the ones who need it the most. My enemies aren't willing to do what it takes, and they wonder why I'm ahead. I'm ahead because I have the consistency, and my enemies aren't built like that, my friend. So you pray for my enemies.
Let them talk about you. Let them drag your name through the mud. Let them lie. Let them try to put a black eye on your reputation. And you keep giving, and you keep pouring, and you keep believing, and you keep pushing. I don't care what they say. Eventually, your enemy will become your footstool.
Pray for your enemies. Probably sometimes more than you pray for yourself.
Because my enemies don't understand. They don't understand the grind. They don't understand the hustle. They don't understand coming back from adversity to come out on top, my friend.
But they don't know the pain that we went through to make it through. I pray for my enemies and any man that stand against me.
I pray for my enemies. I pray for everybody that want me to quit, everybody that want me to throw in the towel, everybody that believes the dream is too big to be fulfilled, that the destiny is impossible. But I'm possible, and I pray for you.
Because my enemies would rather sleep than grind. My enemies would rather lay down than get up and fight. My enemies would rather talk junk for the rest of their life and look at me like I'm crazy because they don't understand the work. They don't understand the grind, my friend. So you pray for my enemies.
I pity the man that want me to lose. I can't. I've come too far. Don't let them get in your head. Haters and naysayers and enemies are always going to try to get in your head and puncture your progress and fight you tooth and nail, trying to get you not to believe in this great vision, this dream. Enemies are a part of life. Enemies are inevitable. As sure as the sun is in the sky, you will always face opposition. You will always face some type of an obstacle. You will always face somebody in your space attempting to discourage you and stop you from what it is that you believe you've been assigned to do. It is inevitable. Oftentimes, many of us never discover what we're made of until we cross paths with someone who tells us we're nothing. They want to see you snap.
You pray for my enemies because they're the ones who need it the most. I'm already ahead, and I'm powered by God, but my enemies won't understand that. My enemies will never understand what it takes to come out victorious because they'd rather make excuses and blame other people instead of taking accountability in themselves, my friend. Because while I'm running in the cold, forbidden rain, you know what my enemies are doing? My enemies are sleeping. My enemies are bathing in jealousy. My enemies are living in envy because they don't have the consistency. They don't have the dedication to get up every single day and make it happen, my friend. So you pray for my enemies because my enemies are the ones who need it the most.
I pray for my enemies. For the men that told me I'd never be nothing. Told me I'd die in them projects, be a drug dealer like my father, sell dope like my family. I pray for my enemies. They told me that I could never go to college. They told me I could never educate myself. But I realized I was greater than that.
They would rather see you die than be what you were born to be. I remember the night I got the phone call and they told me that my mother was gone. I also remember the night I got the phone call and I realized my father was gone. That was the night my enemies rejoiced. That was the night they thought I was finished. But I was just getting started. The enemy hates you. But if they hate us and we love them, eventually they'll bow down. I pray for my enemies.
There's always going to be somebody that tells you that you are not enough, that you don't measure up, that you don't have the right connections, that you're not smart enough, that you don't have the work ethic, that you don't have the wisdom, the understanding. You can't allow the naysayers, the onlookers, the haters, the enemies to see you sweat. I just need somebody that's out there to hear me. When you are surrounded by people trying to discourage you from accomplishing a thing, it is possible to silence the crowd, to silence the doubters, to silence the people that said you're finished, that said you're done. It is possible to silence them and prove them all wrong. Stay the course, no matter the cost. Pay the price to stay focused.
What you gotta understand, ladies and gentlemen, is people wanna see you quit. It's gonna be people in your family, people in your workspace, people at your school. It's gonna be people all over the world that just hate you because you.
You know, they say new levels, new devils. That saying is a quote that illustrates a reality that at the door of every opportunity is an enemy, an adversary. There will be adversity. Just because the door's been open doesn't mean that everybody's going to want you to walk through it.
Because my enemies don't understand. They don't understand the grind. They don't understand the hustle. They don't understand coming back from adversity to come out on top, my friend.
You don't have to be one who was born freakishly talented to accomplish something. If you are facing an enemy right now, if you are facing an insurmountable feat, if you are facing anything big, it is because you are at the precipice of the greatest blessing and the greatest promotion of your life. You have a destiny to fulfill. You have an assignment that you have to walk in. You have no time to pour energy into conversations about people who don't believe in you. Pray for your enemies. The people that do not want to see you win. The people that want to see you suffer in silence. The people that want you depressed. The people that want you to quit. The people that want you to throw in the towel. It is a beautiful thing to keep going, to persevere, to triumph right in the midst of adversity, but not just to prove them wrong, to prove yourself wrong. Pray for your enemies, but whatever you do, do not stop.
You see, they asked me, Will, how do you keep going? And why do you motivate? I motivate because the world became my psychiatrist. I was speaking to myself, but you guys just happened to hear it. And the first time I saw a smile on an individual face because of the words I said, it made me feel like my life wasn't worthless. So if you're listening to this tonight, this evening, this morning, understand that you saved my life because you listened. And you helped me turn my pain into purpose. Thank you.